I want to talk about one of my favorite Intel processors, and that is the Intel Alder Lake i7, in particular the i7-12700 2.1 GHz Alder Lake model, which I will throw together in a build for you later in this video, and why I'm skipping over the Intel i9 Raptor Lake and the i7-13700K for this budget gaming and creator PC. Now, don't get me wrong, is the i9 Raptor Lake and the i13700K superior? The Intel i9 Raptor Lake gives you the most cores and the most cache. Like, they come with 36 megabytes of Intel Smart Cache and a total of 24 cores and 32 threads, and if you got the money, then go ahead. But honestly, the i9 is overkill for budget-conscious gamers and creators like ourselves. Unless you're doing some heavy 3D rendering or video editing, lots of DaVinci work, I can't really justify pulling the trigger on the i9 Raptor Lake. But what about the recently released i7-13700K, Ray? Again, I don't chase hype or the newest release. Yes, the model comes with 16 cores consisting of 8 P cores and 8 E cores and 24 threads, but for myself personally, I really don't see the value of the upgrade from the 12700 to the 13700K unless you're really into 3D modeling or just want a little bit of an extra boost. I'm personally not going to pay the premium price to upgrade for 4 more E cores and a higher clock and a better memory controller. I don't see the value from a bang for a buck performance. In a world of unlimited money, sure, go ahead. But to me, the performance isn't enough to justify an upgrade, and I'd rather save the money for a better GPU, which will ultimately matter more in the end. So that's why I'm going with the i7-12700 Alder Lake, one of my favorite price for performance CPUs on the market today in 2023 and beyond. The i7 comes with 8 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores and smart cache of 25 megabytes, but you still get Turbo Max 3.0. Now, I know some people ask what is the difference between the i7-12700 and the i7-12700K, and it really comes down to this. The non-K version means that the CPU multipliers are disabled and the system agent voltage is permanently stuck to its default value. But this locked system agent voltage is really only an issue with DDR4 RAM. If you're using DDR5 RAM, it's not a problem at all. If you really want to take this CPU, the i7-12700 non-K version to the max, then you're going to want to go with DDR5 RAM instead of DDR4 RAM, which is a little more costly. But again, honestly, it's such a small difference that unless you really want to push your system to the max and game above 60 FPS to get a small improvement boost, don't stress out about it whatsoever. I would say maybe 5% slower max. The overclocking benefits really are not worth it to me in the K version for the additional price, so don't stress out if you go with the 12700 non-K version of the i7 if you can find it for a cheaper price. If you are using DDR4 RAM with this build, don't exceed DDR4 3200 if you want it to work in Gear 1 memory frequency. By default, Alder Lake supports DDR4 3200 on Gear 1 across the product's entire lineup. For this budget build, you probably won't exceed it anyways. Now, for this build, you will need a B660 chipset motherboard, so I'm going to be using one of my favorite motherboards for this, which is the Intel LGA 1700 motherboard. For the RAM and SSD, I'm going to throw in some Kingston Fairy Beast DDR4 RAM at 3200, 16 gigabytes of it with 8x2 sticks. For the SSD, let's go with a 512 gigabytes SSD from Team Group for testing. For the power supply, let's go with my favorite power supply, the Corsair CV650 bronze power supply. For the case, feel free to use any one that you like. This is the one that I'm going to go with. All the links are in the description below to the equipment that I'm using for this test. So let's quickly throw this build together. One thing that I will mention is that I will be testing this build with the CPU's integrated graphics, which is the Intel UHD 770. Now, don't expect a lot out of the integrated graphics out of the CPU. It's integrated graphics. You're not going to get all-star gaming performance, and no, it can't even touch the Ryzen G versions even. I'm not expecting a lot out of it as well, so you definitely want to throw in a dedicated video card at some point when you have money, but I just wanted to show you guys that it's still functional and works with low resolution gaming and non-intensive video editing so that you can get this build started. So enjoy the music and the performance test, and then we will go and do our overall conclusion.
the left field line. On its way.
Alright, so overall, I really like the Intel i7-12700 Alder Lake. One thing I would probably do if I were to redo this build is to definitely use my own CPU cooler. I'm definitely going to throw in a dedicated graphics card for this rig in the future, but I wanted to show you guys that it's still functional if you are on a budget. If you are willing to pay a bit of a premium and go Intel, this Alder Lake PC is a great alternative over the likes of the Ryzen 5600X and the 5700X. And again, I think it's one of the best bang for bucks CPUs on the market today. You don't really need to go much higher than this, but what do you guys think about this budget gaming and creator PC? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.